Alright. Start a new video. Still freaking cold here. Mer's taking a sweet time polishing the car. Couldn't even show it to you done in the last video, and I probably won't be able to show it to you done in this video. He's freaking so slow. But, what am I going to do? I'm doing brakes. So, I got all my stuff from Amazon, so I can run my hard line from the metering block back. We have the diff and all that was all set together a couple of videos ago. I was just going through my parts. So we have the park brake cables from the diff up, a new set of brake shoes, and wheel cylinders. I still have the tie rods and all that. I'm hoping tomorrow the adjusting sleeves will be here, so I can put the suspension, like the steering together. That'll be 100% done. And tomorrow I should be getting, I think, over 3/8 hard line for fuel line, so I can run that. And that's kind of what we're going to do in the next couple of days. The brakes can be a bit of a pain, because the way these cars were is they had just a single pot master cylinder, so the brakes went on the other side, up the frame, it went up the passenger side. So originally it would go from the single pot to this wheel, T over to that wheel, and then straight back on that side of the frame. Which we'll have to deal with. The fuel line's a little goofy on this because it was a boat setup. And if I want to have the bug catcher, which I do, I either got to figure out a way to make the fuel line come out that way, or it went backwards on the other thing, because this will get in the way of the linkage. So we'll deal with that. Yeah, it should be a good one. So, grab a drink, relax, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to work. So I ran the brake line. As it turns out, it's freezing on a creeper, so I'm not doing that. So I thought, oh, okay, I'll take the rear brakes apart. Well, that didn't really go well either. Beat them with a hammer. They're a little stuck. So we're gonna pull out the torch, heat up around the hub, and then start bashing with a hammer and see if that'll fix all the problems. Hopefully there's actually some brake hardware in here. I never even thought of that. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of stopped working yesterday. We were working on the brake drum, got frustrated. By the time I looked over, the camera had fallen over. So I had to heat the thing up. I got it cracked loose from the hub, but the shoes, there's always some sort of groove or something like that on the drum. I was screwing around with screwdrivers trying to get the star wheel to move. That wasn't working for me. So I stopped by Princess Auto to pick up a couple of star wheel adjusters, hopefully. And Mer actually had this sweet thing. It's like a universal meant for trucks and buses. It's like a heater core with a fan in it. So we're going to try and install that at some point in this thing. I also got, show up today, my 3/8 fuel line. I got aluminum because it was cheaper than steel for some reason. So yeah, it's friggin' cold, I'm telling you, man. This weather is wearing on me. But I'm gonna try and rip apart this the rear brakes. I had to take the slapper bar off. It's just frustration had taken over. So we'll get that all kind of dialed apart, see what's in there, and hopefully get new brakes going. I did run the brake line. We'll have to run a new line across. Yeah, plumbing, screwing around, all that sort of stuff. I'll run the fuel line. I think I'm gonna go up the tank does deke over to the passenger side, which would be nice because then obviously the fuel pump and all that's there, so I just gotta whoop up to there. Then I gotta decide how I want to run it up to the carburetors, but that's future Dan's problem. We're worrying about brakes right now. Victory! This brake drum is hammered. Like usually if there's just like a bit of a ridge there, you're like, it's probably, it's like a 1/4 inch. It's like, I wish it would show up on camera. This thing is hammered. Give her a quick spritz of the old brake clean. So here's what I was struggling with. Use that. So this is the star wheel, and this is what adjusts the shoes in and out. Now what happens is when there's a huge ridge, like a huge ridge, the brake shoes get stuck in that ridge, so obviously they can't come off. Story of my life. So you have to do is on the back side, there's a little slot that you can get to the star wheel from, and you gotta kind of tighten it so you bring the shoes closer together, or allow the springs to pull together, so that way you can pull the drum off. So that was the trick. Now what you end up using is this kind of goofy pry bar, but it basically just goes in from the back side, you can see, and then you can move this star wheel and get in that area and tighten her up. So that's that. The wheel cylinder, I mean, it's gonna be junk for sure. We'll see once you get this thing on the road. It doesn't look like the wheel cylinder or the wheel seal, axle seal is leaking, which is good. On this one, it's a bearing and seal altogether. I think once I get on the road, I have a spare center section. So these old Chevy diffs up till 58 or something, I don't know when they are. Tri-5s have them. They look like a 4/9 inch kind of, where the center section comes out of them. They're like an 8-inch ring gear. Like they're not very strong whatsoever, or 7.5, I forget. But for what we're doing, it'll be fine. Anyways, I have like 2 or 3 spare center sections, so I think I might get one rebuilt with the best gears. And when you do that, you take 4 bolts out and you pull the axle out, and that's what allows the center section to come out. So at that time, I'll probably pull the axles as well and have a new set of bearings pressed on. Then you're basically rebuilt. But in the meantime, we're gonna rip these brakes apart. So I'll set up old spider legs, and we'll just peel everything apart, and then we'll get to the wheel cylinder. Probably just slice the brake line and take it all apart, clean it up, and reverse the situation with brand new parts. I did buy wheel studs, but actually these ones, I was missing some. I don't know, maybe it's the other side. But yeah, we'll get it all dyed together. Everyone's all scared of brake shoes, like drum brakes. I get it, they do look a little complicated, but just do a little bit of research. They're very simple, you can't really screw them up, and they just work. So take a picture if you don't understand what they're gonna do. It's a series of springs, you're golden. Well, it appears the camera died, so I went and plugged her in. Anyways, I got this thing all kind of put back together. Oh, the old man E-crack is real. So we got brand new shoes, new wheel cylinder. They reused all the old hardware, that was fine. I took apart the star wheel, you clean that up real good, you clean the backing plate, you give it a little never sees on it. That's just what everything's kind of riding on. So you want that to be nice. Really no issues. I thought I was missing a brake cable, but I guess I'm an idiot and forgot how this one works. The rear cable is one piece, it has a little saddle that fits in the front part of it, so I think I have everything I need. So that's pretty wicked. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I said, the brake drum is KO'd, and I'll have to get a couple tomorrow. Hopefully I have some in stock locally, because they're a bear to ship from Rock Auto. That's the only gripe I have with Rock Auto. Shipping is brutal, and heavy stuff like brake drums, it's not worth it in the end. But I'll get it cleaned up, we'll get the other side peeled apart. I feel like it's going to fight me as much as this side, which is awesome, so you get to watch me do that. Nothing like a bunch of struggle. Once you get that dialed, then I want to plumb the rear, like the hard line right across. What I use is this. This is just a regular kind of rear brake hose, but it's off of a Nova. I think that's where I got it from. So it's got quarter in and 3/16 out. The problem is a typical Tri-5 one is all 3/16. So you can get a 3/16 to quarter end, but by the time you track down all that junk, you might as well just buy something else that'll work. And this will just bolt to the rear end, and then it just kind of dangles from the line we're going to make. So I got to flare the 1/4 inch line back, which I still have to secure and all that, but we'll make some progress. It's chilly down there though, but yeah, I'll get dialed together on the other side. We'll rip it all apart, put it back together. Well, I've been fiddle farting around like there's no tomorrow, jamming to get this drum off. All the inside was all blown apart for some reason. I don't know what. This thing was not very well maintained. Anyways, I got it kind of mostly apart. So use this light to blind us. Unfortunately, so here are the springs to keep it together. The tips are broken off, so you can rebend them, I guess. This is one of them. It's just all burnt. Everything's all jammed together. Oh, star wheel. I had to torch this thing apart. It's still got a hard spot in it. Look at this, like it's been all gibbled and whatnot. I knocked one stud out. I got the wheel cylinder in. Man, it's just, I don't know. I need parts. I need the drums anyways. I probably have another set of drums. I think the fronts I kept off of this. I could take all the spring hardware out, but it's this far apart. I'm gonna see if the parts store has a spring kit, maybe even a star wheel tomorrow. Just put a new one in this side. I mean, they're cheap if they have them. They're $4 on Rock Auto, so I'm sure it'll be $12 locally. Story of my life tonight fought me like I got next to nothing done. Fought the one drum off, got the brakes together, and I turned the camera off for a while there. Probably spent an hour screwing around trying to get those brakes off because the star wheel was falling in the drum. So everything's just all jammed together. I ended up just bashing it and prying it. And, oh man, what a friggin' nightmare. So, you know, I'm gonna quit while I'm behind. I'll be back at it tomorrow. I feel like with a few new parts, I got everything apart. I'm just angry. It's cold, I'm freezing on this stupid concrete floor. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to get some new parts tomorrow. Like I said, drums and all that. Worst case, if I reuse the springs, I will. Tomorrow, I feel like it'll all just fall together. So we'll bang them together. We'll hook up the e-brake cable. So I got to go through and have all the miscellaneous stuff. This is all the e-brake junk which I have to put in. They actually, it attaches to the braces in the new floor. So I put that in there. There's like a little lever, and then I think I have the front pull piece, so I get that all kind of together and run the brake line, run the fuel line while I'm under there. But yeah, I'm leaving for a night. One of them evenings. be back to fight another day, I guess. See you guys tomorrow. Next day, yet again. Got some drums locally. They're actually pretty cheap. They're like 60 bucks, which is surprising. 60 bucks each. Didn't have any luck on the springs, which is a bit of a pain. Fortunately, I have this, I chopped up a diff. I think it was rusted out in the tubes. I forgot what I did there, but I just kind of kept it all together. I've always heard these Tri-5s blow up axles. I've yet to have that problem. Yet to. But I kept it all together. So, I will just steal the springs that are in better shape. Actually, the star wheel looks not too bad on this one. I'll probably move that stuff over. And, there's a little spring on that spreader bar. I'll probably grab that too. And put those brakes together, which is pretty simple. I mean, ultimately, well, that side's blown apart still, but the other side's ready to go. The other side really just needs a drum put on, and we'd be there. Just that simple. New wheel cylinder, all that sort of stuff. Then I can start, I want to tie together the e-brake stuff. Oh yeah, I found this is the umbrella style cable, which just has a kind of like a bike style thing. It's pretty chintz. Whatever, put that in, make it all work, hook up the rear, like the hydraulic line, and go from there. So I'm going to peel apart this frozen brake drum, or the brake assembly, whatever you want to call it, and we'll get after putting the other side back together. We are doing good. So you're all back together. I didn't use the star wheel. I used the one I took apart yesterday because it was in better shape. So here's the problem. This star wheel was actually put on the wrong way, which I don't really think makes a big difference, but you can see the teeth were over there when I originally took it apart. And the little slot, which is kind of right where my finger is, it's hard to see there. We jam a screwdriver in there, or that little tool. So the way it works is you come in through the back and you get to it. The problem was the star wheel was over there, so you couldn't really reach for it, and it was a pain. Anyways, we're all back together. So we got the e-brake on, parking brake, whatever you want to call it, and it's basically just a loop that goes to itself. Now this is the parts off the other car, so if you're ever doing a Tri-5 floor, you gotta make sure you keep this stuff. So that loop is going to run through this little kind of horseshoe looking thing and pulls on this lever. And this lever and this whole piece we got to unbolt, and it'll bolt on. There's actually holes that are drilled and tapped. We'll put that in, and then over here as well. And this lever, this little kind of notch here, fits in that. And then as you pull, this will be the front cable. I just chopped everything, obviously. As you pull the front cable, it'll lever action, which will then pull the cable here, which will expand the brake shoe, and that's how that all works. I do have the new cable somewhere. I don't know where I put it, but I'm going to kind of, oh, here it is. That's our new cable. So same thing, it will, the threaded piece will go in there. Now this, based on all these spacers and whatnot, makes me think that this cable's on there for a while, because the cables stretch. So that's their way of putting more adjustment in it, which is fine. So I'll take these apart, clean them up, clean the threads, and put it all together. It'd be pretty simple. And then once it's on the car, I think it'll make a lot more sense than kind of watching me fiddle fart around with it. Alright, so here's the e-brake kind of assembly. So you can see the old cables. They got this little horseshoe thing, which goes in this little whatever that is. That's the adjuster. It's all threaded. This other piece is threaded. Unfortunately, the nuts were gacked and they're fine thread. I don't have any of those, so I got to get them. But you can see this cable, it's going to run up, which I haven't done yet. But as you pull on that, it will actuate the shoes. So hopefully you can see that back there. Well, that's all it is. It will actuate the shoes, so hopefully you can see that back there. Well, that's all it is. And there is a spring that will go from here all the way back to that little kind of little notch, whatever, which I have somewhere. I think it's probably on the roof, maybe. So I'll put that on. That'll keep it tensioned off, I guess. And then you just kind of, you know, make your adjustment there. And then on this piece here, so it's all threaded. And then you can just make sure it's kind of taut, and that'll run up. So that's pretty simple. Up next, I'm gonna slice and dice all the back, the hoses off the back, the steel tube. And we'll put on our new hydraulic hose, run a new line side to side, just because why not at this point? And then we should be good. This is the line running back, so we'll have to put some P-clamps on it and just kind of make sure it's going to fit around everything nicely. And on this side, which is actually where all the clips are, that's where we're going to run our fancy fuel line. Should be a good time. So I'll get after both those, and hopefully we can get out from under this thing. I've had enough of this junk, and then yeah, run out, get some parts, call her an evening. Okay, well, pile of screwing around, kind of boring stuff. I got the e-brake mechanism in, so it works, does its thing. Oh, the cable's a little on the loosey-goosey side. Yeah, we got brake drums on it. Brand new. So that went on pretty good. I haven't adjusted the shoes yet, and actually on the other side, I'm still missing one stud, which I gotta do. So it's all back together. Slap bars are just on loose. I ran my my brake line, so that's what I did for the flex line. I just literally welded a bolt to the top of the diff and kind of bolted her down. All brand new stuff there. It needs a few little clips, which I'll have to kind of tack weld on or do something, make it look a little more professional like. All we got under here. This is the science of it. So it looks a little complicated, but ultimately, whoops, right here. So there and there are the two cables going to the parking brake in the shoes, and this is the, you know, little bar thing. This is what goes to that umbrella I pulled on. So as you pull ahead, it'll pull back on there. It's got a little spring to kind of hold it all back. Pretty simple little setup. I'm happy with it. We got our brake line on there with a bunch of these little insulated P-clamps. So, I think I'm done under the car for a little bit. So I still gotta run the fuel line. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. We'll see. I've kind of had enough of this junk for tonight. And it's an absolute disaster in the garage. I've just been so cold out. I've just been stacking junk up at the front. The amount of garbage you create fixing a car is something I'll never understand. But that's what I'm doing for now. A little brake job. Up next, I don't know if I'll start tonight, probably tomorrow. We're gonna get Danny out here. We're gonna bleed the brakes because you guys love watching her struggle. I actually also got a new brake bleeding kit. When you guys sent it, Glutton, I appreciate the hell out of it. But it was addressed to Danny, so she's got to learn how to use a little vacuum brake bleeder as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, she's stepping on the pedal. But that's our leave for tonight. And this video, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends. Comment below. Love the comments, and well, we'll see you in the next video. Should be a good time. I just cleaned up, and I wanted to show you guys. This is that brake drum. If you can see light through the whole thing. This thing is so KO'd. I can't believe it. Like, you can see the bevel. All right, now I'm done. See you later.